For week 4, we are in the week 4 activities Dropbox, and I'm going to explain what you will be doing this week. The first activity will be to complete the Social Emotional Learning Survey. I talked to you about this survey as part of my research study. You're welcome to be a part of that. I would hope you would like to be a part of that, and I can use your responses. Of course, it would be anonymous. Your name will not be identified in any form whatsoever in my survey. I'm just looking at a group of teacher candidates, as such as yourself, people who are thinking about becoming teachers, and their responses. So you can use the QR code to retrieve or join this survey, or you can use the link here. This will take you to the survey as well. But you will need this framework right here, so you do need to download that and have that with you while you're completing the survey, because there will be some questions about that framework, which we'll be talking about this semester. Don't forget to read chapters 5 and 6 this week. 5 is Beyond the Ordinary, Teaching and Learning with Concrete Instructional Resources. It starts on page 144. And Chapter 6, Teaching and Learning with Representational Instructional Resources, page 181. I know it might seem like a lot of reading, but it's pretty a quick read, because it's about things you probably already know for the most part, but you might not know about Realia. And if you don't, you can read about that. That's going to be in your next activity. You're going to create an artifacts kit using Realia. Yep. You're going to choose an elementary grade level. You're going to identify a social studies topic or theme, maybe from your annual pacing schedule. Since you've already worked on that, you can pick something from one of those topics, and you're going to collect materials for an artifact kit. Actually, the materials are going to be photos or illustrations, because you're going to post this on Blackboard. The Realia included in the kit can be tangible items and or primary sources. You'll take pictures or photos of those then, or have illustrations or images of these artifacts that you find for the kit. Make sure you create a visually appealing display. Discuss how this kit might be used in a classroom museum. Be creative in how you'll create the kit. Explain your kit. Post the creation of your kit through photos, illustrations, and explanation of the items in this Dropbox. The last activity that you will work on independently this week is to create either a learning center or a web quest. Both of these are talked about in chapter 5, I'm pretty sure. Select one of the following 2 choices, the learning center or the web quest. You'll find information in this chapter for both of these instructional resources. You're going to select a theme or a topic of a grade level of your own choosing. Again, you may use the theme you use for your artifact kit, or you can pick any from your annual pacing schedule or any grade level social studies topic, whatever you might research. If you create a learning center, then you're going to create a visual plan of the layout or organization of your learning center. You're going to at least have 4 activities that you're going to explain in your learning center. One activity should involve technology. You should have a way that students check off that they have finished their work, so you know that they've done all 4 activities in the Learning Center. Or you can create a web quest, and a web quest is an inquiry-oriented activity in which some or all the information that learners work with comes from pre-selected resources on the internet. Post your Learning Center or your web quest in this Dropbox. Those are the independent activities this week. Now I'm going to take you to the group activity. The group activities in this folder just below the independent activities. And I'll a creative banner there for you. Nothing too exciting, but and maybe it's appropriate because you're going to create some responses for a simulated activity in a group. The use of simulations in a social studies classroom is widely being recognized as an important instructional tool as it mimics the way of real life. So take a look at pages 203 through 206 for more information about simulations. Prior to beginning work as a group, make sure you have read through the simulation below, as your group's work this week will be based on that simulation. Here is the simulation, so when you click on that and download that, you will actually read the entire simulation. It's kind of fun, I think, if you take a look at it. So if you're in group 1 and you see your names here, you're going to write the portion of a lesson plan that introduces the students to the simulation that will assist elementary or middle school students to work through the simulation. How will you set the simulation up? What will you do to get them excited? What will be your hook? Will you dress up as some of the characters in the simulation? You need to propose how you're going to get the kids excited about the simulation. You might do a little role play and you'll write a little script for that, but that's what your group will be involved with this week. The second group, and those people's names are listed here, will develop a series of questions to use in the debriefing of the simulation so that the students reflect on not only the content, but skills and attitudes they used in the simulation and can ask questions about the reality of their efforts. Group 3, again, if your name's here, you're in group 3, you're going to create a student self-assessment. Be sure to provide opportunities for the student to reflect on what he, or they have accomplished independently and as a group member, and then overall, how has the group done collectively? You might want to make sure you've included the strengths that the student has shown. You want to make sure that he talks in a positive self-talk so that he speaks highly of the work he's done and what he can do, establishing some goals. Maybe he'll have a chance to add some goals and maybe then some suggestions on what he might do for self-improvement. And this might be a self-evaluation that they would create midway through the simulation and at the very end of the simulation. So think about that if you're in group 3. And if you're in group 4, here are the last 5 people who are in group 4, but not the least. This is as important. You're going to create plans to showcase the simulation to a variety of audiences, including students from other classes, parents, administration, the Board of Education. You want to confirm the continuation of projects such as the scenarios like this one, the simulations, to incorporate what you as a teacher and your students might do to publicize the work in this major project. Be sure to include the media. Maybe you'll advertise on social media and you can design a fake Facebook page. You might create a brochure, you might create a program, you might create a flyer, and you want to make sure though that you've also explained how you're going to advertise this, because you're going to want to share it with other people. The kids have worked really hard. Maybe there will be a little role playing here. There's a lot of different ideas. And guess what? That's not the last group. I'm sorry. This is our last group, but again, not the least, group 5. And your names are here. You're going to prepare an observation rubric for a teacher to use in assessing students' participation in the simulation. Be sure to include the same categories as group 2. You want content, skills, and attitudes. Okay, so you're going to create the rubric that teachers are going to use to assess this. Each group should post their work collaboratively, so there will only be one posting per group. Now I have it this way, so you should be able to see all 4 groups and you can comment on all 4 groups and add a comment. You're going to comment, I'm sorry, on 3 of the groups. You don't have to commit, and it's really 5 groups. Again, I apologize for that. It's 5 groups, but you comment on 3. And if you look at the comments that have previously been posted, perhaps you want to make sure that you comment on a group maybe that doesn't have as many comments as well, just to provide more comments to the groups. So the other groups are to read the work and comment on the work of the groups once the end product is completed and posted. And that's by Wednesday. We talked about this in class, I think, as well, that sometimes there will be assignments where you have to post it by Wednesday, so then people can post on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday their replies or their responses. And again, each member of the class should comment on at least 3 of the 5 groups' work. And that's your group work this week. That's also your independent work this week. And I am now done explaining, so I'm going to encourage you to start your group work first and then move into your independent work so you can be sure that you have everything posted by Wednesday in your group work, and you'll have a little chance to work on your independent work. As always, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Otherwise, I'll see you either in class on Monday or online.